Back once ago, G. All right. We got a good one tonight, folks. This is going to be half figure review, half movie review of Godzilla X Kong. I'm going to give you my opinion on the movie, and we're going to take a look at these figures. This is the Funko Pop movie series for Godzilla X Kong. And we have Godzilla, Kong, Suko, Scar King, and Shimo. Now, this is basically the whole set. They also have a Godzilla and a Kong Super, but I haven't seen those. These were the only ones I saw in the store. So, if I find those anytime soon, I'll do a review. I'll grab them and do a review of the Godzilla and Kong. But there's 7 figures in this set. You know what I mean? And these are the 5 different ones, and then you have another Godzilla and another Kong. So, but yeah. And then, we'll talk about the movie. I'll let you know how I felt about it. And let's Funko Pop off. All right, we're going to start off with Kong and Suko. I'll just let you take a look at the box. Got a nice picture of the Funko on each one of them on the front. Of course, the numbers. On the side of the box, you got the Pop movies, Kong and Suko, with both of their numbers. And also the color scheme from Godzilla X Kong with the pink and the blue, purple. And then on the back here, it's just Pop movies. Got the Monarch logo, you got the number. And then it shows you all of the figures that you could collect. And you see here, I have the top 5. Then the bottom ones are the Godzilla and Kong Super. So those will be next on the menu, but I haven't seen those in stores yet. So, but I'm sure they will be in, and then I'll grab it. All right, let's get these 2 out of the box. All right, so right off the bat, these are very well done, I never really bought Funko Pops before. I bought a Tupac one that I haven't reviewed yet, and these. And these are my first Funko Pop figures ever, honestly. And they're pretty impressive, I have to say. I love the detail on them. I love the way they do the fur on both Kong and Suko, on their body and on their heads. It's very nice. It's very well done. I love the way they do Kong's beard. I love the smirk on Kong's face with the raised eyebrow like the Rock. That looks great, and I love the pose that Suko is in here. He's in that, stance like he's ready to jump around, like that. Kind of signifies that he's a child. He's a young ape. In the pose that they gave him. Of course, they got his big green eyes right here. And you can see his eyes are round. Kong's are basically like just slits, slashes, as far as the eyeballs are concerned. And then they have the beast glove here on Kong, which is very well done. You can see the little cog right there. And all of the fingers, the mechanical fingers. Little splash of paint right there. What are you going to do? They got a little sloppy, you know what I mean, on that one, but whatever. But you can see the fur is extremely well done on both of them, on their bodies. Excellent. Now, I want you to also notice the scaling here. Suko is smaller than Kong, and I like that they did that. I was expecting to pull them out of the box and have them being the same size, but I like that Suko is small and you could differentiate and see that he's a child, They have the scar right there by his eye, as well as the scarring on Kong's chest, which is very nice. And I think these 2 figures are dynamite, man. They look great together. Kong and Suko, they spent a good portion of the movie together. So it's nice. This is my first Suko figure, by the way. I got to get the Playmates Suko and Doug. That hasn't been anywhere around where I live. I'm going to have to order that online. But, yeah, so this is my first Suko. And it doesn't disappoint. It's pretty good. They kind of nailed the expressions in their faces. Great, So, I'm excited. Let's move on to the next one. Next up on the menu, Scar King and Shimo, baby. And the boxes are basically the same. This is the side of the box. There's a nice picture of Scar King and Shimo. Everything else remains the same on them, and you have their numbers. But wow, these are very, very well done here. I love how evil Scar King looks right here, and I love the way they did the whip slash. It looks excellent. I love the way they did his teeth here. It's probably the most, on this little Funko figure, probably the best teeth so far out of any Scar King figure I've seen. I love the way they did the expression on his face, the way his brow is all scrunched up like that. It makes him really look evil. I love the soulless white eyes, The fur, obviously, is very, very well done, even on the side of his head. Once again, there's a little paint splotch there, so that ain't cool. I don't like that. But these are only $11 figures, so maybe I'll get another Scar King and Kong. You know what I mean? And I'll have to just look inside the box to make sure there's no paint splotches. But other than that, I mean, that's a minor thing, man. I don't care. That doesn't really take away from the look of the figure, which is very, very nice. And then Shimo just looks awesome, man. Look at that. She comes with a little ice breath blast right there, which fits into her mouth. It's awesome. And the spines, the crystals, the dorsal plate crystals look fantastic. Got the little ones on the head, and then all the way down her back and tail to the end there, so she has a little thagomizer on her tail. I love her ice blue eyes, and I like the fact that they made her look kind of innocent, because she was in the movie. But we'll talk about that more when we review the movie. But and she has some really nice detail on her, from the top of her head to her four legs are very, very well done, and the detail on the side of the body and the detail on the side of the tail, excellent, man. Her fingernails or toenails are painted black, and that's just really crisp, man. It's a nice pose that she's in, and that looks great. So these are the villains of the movie right here. Well, one villain, one slave, basically. She really didn't want to be doing it all. But we'll discuss that. But these two are very, very nice. All right, on to the big G. All right, now Godzilla here looks fantastic, baby. Look at that. This is definitely my favorite one, man, in terms of the pose, in terms of the look of it and the detail and the paint job and the color. Oh, man, he looks really nice. Very, very nice. It's like a medium gray that he's painted, and he's just chock full of detail. Look at the detail. Look at the black paint on the fingernails and toenails. Looks great. Look at his skin on both of his legs. Look at the little nooks and crannies. The detail, the bumps. Look at the armor on his chest and the muscles on his chest. And then you have the detail on the side of his face, on the top of his head. His teeth look awesome. This atomic breath piece that it comes with looks fantastic. Look at that. His eyes look awesome. Let me turn him around for you. Look at that. Look at how cool the dorsal plates are. Awesome. All the way down to the Thagomizer. That looks great, man. Fantastic. Look how nice it is from the side. And look at the extra detail right there. Yeah, he's in a really, really cool pose, Godzilla, with one leg a little bit in front of the other, with both of his arms out, blasting the atomic breath. Excellent. That's a cool action pose, man. You know what I'm saying? He looks pissed. He's ready to scrap, and he's toasting your ass with some atomic breath. Excellent. So this definitely gets my vote for the best one out of the set. You know, they crushed the paint job on this much better. They crushed the detail on it, the expression on Godzilla's face. The teeth are just fantastic. Look at how good the teeth look. That's so nice. And they give you this, it's just a beautiful, this is one of the nicest pieces of atomic breath pieces that I've received on a figure. I wish all the figures would use whatever material this is, because it's very, very nice, and I love it. And box is the same, picture of the figure, Godzilla and his number right there, and everything else is fairly the same. But this one here knocks it out the park, you know, and I'm really very happy to have it. And I love the whole set, really. They're all very well done. I'm just probably going to replace the two with the messed up paint. It's a little splotch. And I'll just look in the box and make sure I get a perfect one like this guy. But, you know, anyway, this is the best one regardless of the splotch paint. It's just the one with, it's the most highly expressive one and the one with the best detail. So the whole set is great. I love it, and I'm really happy to have it. And but now we'll get them all out, and we'll get into a little review of Godzilla X Kong, which I haven't done up to this point, and I want to talk about the movie with you guys. By the way, you could totally get Scar King to stand on Shimo like he does in the movie. How cool is that? There's a spot where it just balances perfectly. So that's awesome. But anyway, yeah, Godzilla X Kong, a budget of only $135 million, which was the smallest of the MonsterVerse, and 2 weeks at number 1, third week number 2, but they're at $435 million globally, worldwide. The movie's a major success. And so shout out to Adam Wingard and the whole team from Godzilla X Kong and the whole cast. The people have spoken, you know. It got a pretty low score for the critics' reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but the people have it up at like 92%. So, you know, the people have spoken. The movie's a success. And along with the success of Godzilla -1 and this movie, we're bound to see many, many Godzilla movies now for years to come. The MonsterVerse is a major success, so, and so is -1. So hopefully we get sequels to both of these movies. Now, Godzilla X Kong, did I like it? Hell yeah. I had a ton of fun in the movie theater. I thought it was great, you know. Who cares about the humans' parts? Who cares if they're good or not? They were serviceable. I saw the movie once in the movie theater, and then I've watched it online about 5 times after that. And each time, you know, like the storyline from the actors seems to get better. And it's there to push the story along. It's no secret. You know what I mean? This is a Godzilla movie. You know what I'm saying? So we're there to see Godzilla and Kong. You know, like the humans are just an afterthought. They're there to convey the storyline. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter anyway. You know, like the best acting in the movie was done by Kong. You know, so the scenes where Kong was on his own, or when he was with Zuko trying to go to Scar King's lair, excellent, man. where it's nothing but Kong on screen. That's great. You know what I mean? I hope like for the final movie of the MonsterVerse, I know everybody wants to see Destroyer. Hopefully that's next. But hopefully for the final movie of the MonsterVerse, they do a prequel and go back to the Great War. And we get more of Scar King. Because Scar King is a cool villain. You know, it would be cool to see multiple Kongs and multiple Godzillas and the Great War going down. It would be good to see how, you know, Ghidorah getting frozen. And how, you know, Shimo gets enslaved by Scar King. So I would hope that they do that. I would hope like the you know, when the MonsterVerse comes to an end, the final movie is a prequel where they take it back, and it could you know, they could do it all the way up to till Kong's birth on Skull Island and watching his parents die, and just end it like that. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I love the movie. I thought it was great. I thought the fight scenes were awesome. I thought the CGI was pretty good for the most part. You know what I mean? Although I will say, you know, for the $15 million budget, -1 CGI was just as acceptable to me, you know? You know, some of the scenes were better, obviously, for the MonsterVerse. It's a bigger budget. The CGI slightly better. But some of the scenes in -1 were better than some of the scenes in Godzilla X Kong, you know? So, but the CGI is good all over the place right now. We can't complain. These monsters, these titans, kaiju, whatever you want to call them, look great on screen. And, you know, I think that's why everybody wants to see Destroyer, because he's going to look amazing. He's going to look like a demon, you know. And I really enjoyed the movie. You know, some of my gripes were, you know, how Trapper seemed to have everything right there at the snap of a finger. He's just there to save the day. Like, oh, yeah, I got the Beast Glove right back there at the outpost, and it's just sitting in the garage. Let me go swing over and get it. You know, stuff like that was kind of... Or how Bernie knew everything about the Iwi method for, like, you know, making the whole place anti-gravity. Like, oh, yeah, yeah, what they're doing is they're pouring the chemical mixes with the water, and then... like, how the hell does he know that? You know, so it's stuff like that, but we don't care, you know. Some of the human parts were cool, like when they were actually going over, like, the writings and drawings on the wall and the whole history of what it all meant. The Titan who ate a star. We don't know who that is. Is it Godzilla? Is it Space Godzilla? Is it Zos What is that? You know, who's the Titan that ate a star? Because you remember, they deleted that scene where they showed the flying Godzilla, Zos Lahala. That's who's supposed to be the one who ate a star. So, but then in the movie, Trapper says Godzilla. So I wonder if they just nixed the whole Zos Lahala deal, you know? But anyway, so that was a gripe. Another gripe would be... I wish they would have brought Scar King into the movie earlier, because Scar King was a great villain, you know, who seemed to come in Act 3. Came in for the last 40 minutes of the movie. I would have liked to see more of his villainous deeds. You know what I mean? If I would have preferred if he was brought in like 20 minutes into the movie and we got to see him throughout. And then they could have revealed Shimo for the last 40 minutes. That would have been fine. But it would have been cool to see Scar King a little more. That's why I'm hoping we get to see a prequel movie where we actually get like a young prime Scar King. That would be kind of dope. And then I thought maybe the end fight scene could have been a little longer. I think if the movie was like another 10 to 15 minutes longer, I would have liked that. Just to flesh some of the other stuff out, you know. But I love that, you know, they showed Kong really working with tools, you know what I mean? Setting traps and having you know, traps and spikes set up to kill. That was dope, to get food. You know, and all the Kong shots in the Hollow Earth were amazing. Godzilla was a tremendous badass in the movie. He just wasn't effing about at all. He wasn't there for the chit chat. He just one-shotted everybody. You know what I mean? Scylla got it real bad. Scylla got it so bad it looked like when the lady puts the gremlin in the microwave and explodes it. You know? And then Tiamat, he didn't last long. He or she, I don't know what Tiamat is, but they didn't last very long. Chunks popped up out of the water like it was grilled octopus, like the end of Jaws, you know. But yeah, I do wish the end fight scene would have been a little bit longer. They could have showed that. They could have had that battle go on a little bit more. Another gripe would be that Scar King could have been a little bit more powerful in the movie. You know what I mean? I understand, like, psychologically why they didn't make him more powerful, you know, because it's like, it's like Dr. Evil. You know what I'm trying to say? You don't want to really, like, you want your villain to have vulnerabilities, you know? But he was worthwhile. He was pretty slick, you know? Kong was just bigger and just ragdolled him, you know? But I love the weapon. I love the whip slash. And Scar King was a cool villain. You know, Shimo was basically a slave with a dog collar on. That's what the situation was. You know, the crystal that he had controlled Shimo. She didn't want to be blasting at anybody. You know, matter of fact, at the end of the movie, when they broke the crystal and she was free of it, she took a look at Godzilla, who was charging up, like, didn't want none of that, and just froze Scar King instead, you know? And then, you know, Shimo basically became a pet to Kong. Kong was petting her at the end of the movie, so... but I had a good time in the movie theater. I got the popcorn bucket with Godzilla and Kong and Scar King on it. And I loved it. I loved the movie. I loved that we got so much Godzilla in the last year and a half between Godzilla -1, Monarch TV show, Godzilla X Kong, and all different styles of Godzilla, basically. You know, it was cool to get the drama of -1, you know, like a real movie, a real Oscar award-winning movie, and then get the fun of Godzilla X Kong, because it was a wild ride. It was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's whatever. The storyline might have been, we could have tightened it up a little bit. Maybe the sequel to this, where Adam Wingard has basically said that he wants to, like, make it more Godzilla-based with Kong in a supporting role. Like, basically the reverse of Godzilla X Kong. So, hopefully the next movie will get more of that. I understand why they use Kong, or the apes in general, as the lead character, basically, to further the story along, because human beings relate to Kong more. He's more expressive, you know, he feels pain, he's, you know, he's got a toothache, you know what I mean? He needs his tooth pulled. And people can relate to the human, elements and expressions of Kong. So, but we do need a true Godzilla movie. And I think Adam Wingard hinted to that. So, and hopefully it'll be Destroyer. But we'll see. Was there anything else about the movie I wanted to talk about? The cinematography was beautiful too. Hollow Earth looked awesome. You know, we just got vibrant colors. The movie was shot beautifully. I think a lot of it was on location. They cut money, you know what I mean? They made the budget a lot cheaper on this, and that was like a pretty smart decision. I don't know if the CGI suffered for it. Not really, you know, I don't think so. I think it was acceptable CGI, and you know, if they're at $436 million on a $135 million budget, so that's a big success. And I think they're expected to do between 550 and 600 million. So it's well on its way to being a major success. And I loved it. I loved every second of the movie. You know what I'm saying? I love anything Godzilla. I don't critique it like that. I don't critique it like, oh, well, these human characters really, they didn't add much to the story, and it was kind of corny and blah, 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 blah. Who cares? We go to these movies to see Godzilla spit out his atomic breath. You know what I'm saying? To see Kong ground and pound somebody, man. You know what I mean? We're not going for Bernie and Gia and, Mama Monarch, Trapper. So, we're going for the kaiju, baby. That's why we're there, the Titans. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just think the people that are critiquing the movie that harshly they're just haters, Maybe they're just wokesters upset that Godzilla's doing better than their woke movies. I think that's why it probably got a low review. They can't stand that Godzilla is a bro movie. You can't make Godzilla woke, aside from the pink dorsal plates, but but whatever. That's evolved Godzilla, and guess what? We think he's cool. He looks good in atomic pink. All right, so there we have it, the Funko Pop set. If I do see the Super Godzilla and Super Kong, I'll grab those and do a separate review of that. But these are quite nice, so I do recommend them. I will also say, turn the light on your cell phone, look in the box, and make sure there's no paint splotches. But yeah, because I got to rebuy 2 of these figures. I like them so much, I just want to rebuy them with the paint done correctly on them so that they're perfect. But I ain't going to complain that bad, and I probably won't get them right away. If I just run into them again, I'll scoop them up. But I'm pretty satisfied with my purchase right now. So I do recommend these. Go out and get you some Funko Pop Godzilla and Kong. Peace out, folks.